You could imagine that if that Kamala Harris turns up in a debate one-on-one with Donald Trump, she could wipe the floor with him. So it'll be interesting to see whether he does relent. Kamala Harris would be smart to say, the voters deserve to see as much of me and Donald Trump side by side as possible. We should have weekly debates, because Donald Trump's been inviting Joe Biden to have weekly debates all year. So now the tables are turned. She is the one who has youth, agility, and interest on her side.
That was ABC Australia right there, and they had it spot on. Donald Trump is terrified of debating Vice President Kamala Harris now that she's become the presumptive Democratic nominee for president. Donald Trump spiraling out of control last night, post after post, whining and complaining about having to debate Vice President Harris. Take a look at what Donald Trump posted, and then I want to show you some of the highlights of Vice President Harris's debate performances over the years to show you what Donald Trump is in for and also why he is so terrified. This is actually going to be pretty great, folks. Here's what Donald Trump posted last night. He goes, "My debate with crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in history of the United States, was slated to be broadcast on fake news ABC, the home of George Slopadopoulous, sometime in September. Now that Joe surprisingly has quit the race, I think the debate with whomever the radical left Democrats choose should be held on Fox News rather than the very biased ABC. Thank you, DJT." Then he writes again, "Who is running our country right now? It's not Crooked Joe. He has no idea where he is. If he can't run for office, he can't run our country." Then he writes again, "Biden never had COVID. He is a threat to our democracy." Then he writes again, posting at all hours of the night, "It's not over!" Exclamation point. "Tomorrow, Crooked Joe Biden is going to wake up and forget that he ever dropped out of the race today." Ron Filipkowski, our editor-in-chief at the MeidasTouch Network, goes, "The people who said they would be thrilled to run against Harris aren't acting like they're thrilled to be running against Harris. Careful what you wish for," we wrote on the MeidasTouch social media accounts. And my younger brother Brett wrote, "Pro-democracy Americans across all factions are uniting to defeat the fascists, just like the French did. It is a beautiful sight." This other account said, "God must have spared Trump so a black woman could beat him. Many people are strongly saying this." And one more account said, "Democrats saw a bad debate performance and made way for a new nominee. Republicans saw the Access Hollywood audio tapes, January 6, 34 felony counts, and kept Donald Trump. Both parties are not the same and never will be." All right, let's take a look at Vice President Kamala Harris's debate performance. Here she is in the Democratic primary debate back in 2020. Just take a look at this. Let's watch it.
We have a criminal living in the White House. And there is no question that in 2020, the biggest issue before us until we get to that tender moment is justice is on the ballot. And what we saw today is Ambassador Sondland, by his own words, told us that everyone was in the loop. That means it is a criminal enterprise engaged in by the president, from what we heard today, the vice president, the secretary of state, and the chief of staff. And so this not only points to the corrupt nature of this administration and the need for these impeachment proceedings to go forward, but it also points to another issue. And back to the question that you asked earlier, which is, what does this mean for the American people? Because what it means when I watch this is that there are clearly two different set of rules for two different groups of people in America. The powerful people who with their arrogance think they can get away with this, and then everybody else. Because here's the thing. For those working people who are working 2 and 3 jobs, if they don't pay that credit card by the end of the month, they get a penalty. For the people who don't pay their rent, they get evicted. For the people who shoplift, they go to jail. We need the same set of rules for everybody. And part of the reason I'm running for president is to say that we have to bring justice back to America for all people and not just for some.
And here's a video that we did at the MeidasTouch Network back on October 8th. Of 2020, following the debate between Vice President Kamala Harris and former Vice President Mike Pence, who's no longer Donald Trump's running mate because Donald Trump encouraged insurrectionists to try to kill him. Take a look at this video we made back in 2020 where you see Vice President Harris debate. Here, play this clip.
This is important. Susan, I want to add, Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking. It is asking too much of the people.
Susan, we talked about this.
It is asking too much of the people.
Well, Susan, thank you, although I would like to go back. I think we need to move on
well,
to the
thank
issue
you,
of
but I would like to go back.
In 1864.
Well, I'd like you to answer the question.
Mr.
Yes.
Vice President, I'm
Please.
speaking. I'm speaking. Okay.
We
Thank you,
still
Vice
learn
President.
from it, and I think
Vice
the
President
American
Pence, your time
people,
is
I want
up.
to say again, can be
Vice
proud
President Pence, I'm sorry,
of
your
what
time
we
is
have
up.
done. She has
15 seconds because
Well, I gotta
we're
have
trying
more
to
than
keep.
that. Look.
Well, I'm sorry, but Vice President
Look,
Pence, you've
I-
had more time than she's had.
The truth and the fact is, Joe Biden has been very clear. He will not raise taxes on anybody who makes less than $400,000
He said
a
he's going to
year.
repeal the Trump tax cuts.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Well, wait.
I'm speaking. If you don't mind letting me finish, we can then
Please.
have a conversation, okay?
Please.
Okay.
And you can see right here that her prosecutorial skills translate to debates. Take a look at this.
There are plenty of people who applauded black women for the success of the 2018 election, applauded black women for the election of a senator from Alabama. But, you know, at some point, folks get tired of just saying, oh, you know, thank me for showing up, and say, well, show up for me. Because when black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die in connection with childbirth in America, when the sons of black women will die because of gun violence more than any other cause of death, when black women make 61 cents on the dollar as compared to all women who tragically make 80 cents on the dollar, the question has to be, where you been and what are you going to do?
It's the account at Vote Kamala who also posted that. And by the way, doesn't Donald Trump's selection of J.D. Vance also look like so small and pathetic right now? As this one account put it, I can't explain it, but doesn't J.D. Vance look like the guy at the bachelor party that doesn't know any of the other groomsmen? It's such a funny point. And the guy is just such a phony. By the way, the guy claims he's from Appalachia. He's not. He's like from the suburbs in Ohio. Then he went to Silicon Valley, then came back, ran a sham charity where he exploited victims of the opioid epidemic. The only thing that he funded was a researcher who worked with Purdue Pharma, who actually helped produce OxyContin. I mean, the whole thing's a sham, but I guess that's what makes him a running mate for Donald Trump. So you take all of those clips I just showed you, and I also want you to think about this one. This is Sam Greisman who wrote this. He said, "This is Vice President Kamala Harris explaining how she's going to cook Donald Trump at the debates." Here, play this clip.
It's getting a fresh turkey?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's being delivered
And so
tomorrow.
just 1 minute out. I have 1
Okay,
minute.
yeah.
Kosher salt, fresh ground pepper, maybe chop up a little thyme, and then you can mix it even with, okay, so do the salt and pepper all over it, just lather that baby up, right? With on the outside in the cavity. You could also chop up, but not with the thyme, just the salt and pepper. Mix that up also with some thyme. You could even do a little rosemary if you want. Under the skin with some butter before you're going to cook it. So that butter will just melt in there. And then get a nice big bottle of cheap white wine to baste with butter. Yes, hi.
Okay.
Yes.
This episode of the MeidasTouch podcast is brought to you by Manacora Honey, also known as honey with superpowers. Let me share something sweet with you, and I mean really sweet. It's something that's become a staple in my routine, and I think you are going to love it. I'm talking about Manacora Honey. When I say honey, you might be picturing those bear-shaped bottles in the supermarket, but that is not what this is. Manacora Honey is single origin, rich, creamy, and the most delicious honey you've ever had. It's supercharged with unique antioxidants and prebiotics, and is 3 times more than your average honey. Manacora Honey supports immunity, aids digestion, boosts energy, and helps balance inflammation. It's a game changer, and all you need is 1 to 3 teaspoons a day. On top of that, Manacora Honey has a natural antibacterial compound called MGO, only found in Manuka honey. So if you're looking for something simple and delicious to add to your wellness routine, we found your new healthy habit. And now it's easier than ever to try Manacora Honey with the starter kit. Just head to manacora.com/Meidas to get $25 off. The starter kit comes with an MGO 850 plus Manuka honey, 5 honey travel sticks, a wooden spoon, plus a guidebook. Now, I love the jar and squeeze bottle, but the extra pack of compostable honey sticks is perfect for whenever you're on the go. You could bring them with you when you're traveling or need a quick snack running errands, and they are the perfect energy boost if you're out for a run or at the gym. That's MANUKORA MeidasTouch.com/Meidas to get $25 off your starter kit. This is the ultimate honey. Indulge and try some honey with superpowers from Manacora. Look, this stuff is amazing and really provides the pump I've been looking for. I look forward to Manacora every morning. Make sure you click the link in our description or head to Manacora.com/Meidas and try some out today.
That one made me laugh. Now compare that to Donald Trump. Donald Trump, who's in steep mental decline, far too old and far too mentally incapacitated to run for president or lead the nation. This is the video we created at the MeidasTouch Network. Play this clip.
And my stupid people, when I wanted to refute it, they said, "Sir, don't dignify it with a rebuttal."
Have you been noticing peculiar behavior recently in someone you know?
Carried out by
Someone who mixes fiction and reality?
the late, great Hannibal Lecter. He's a wonderful man.
Perhaps someone of advanced age you have known for years.
Did you just see Maduro? Venezuela, it's unbelievable, Venezuela.
Of course, we all have our goofs. But consistently odd behavior can be a sign of frontotemporal dementia, a degenerative disease of the frontal and temporal lobes of the brain that dramatically impairs cognitive function. And there are some key signs to look out for, like slurring words,
The failing New York Times by anonymous, really anonymous.
struggling to find the correct words is another sign.
The Mueller report, I wish, covered the oranges of the investigation.
You may also notice someone veering into incoherent ideas, detached from reality.
You know what I'd do if there was a shark or you get electrocuted? I'll take electrocution every single time. I'm not getting near the shark.
Or an inability to complete simple sentences.
Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat.
Other notable symptoms include impaired motor function, such as a wavering limb, and decreased balance, often accompanied by a signature lean or arched stance. If someone you know is demonstrating several or all of these symptoms, they are seriously unwell. As a matter of safety, they must be relieved of critical responsibilities and disqualified from any position of authority. Remember, frontotemporal dementia is a degenerative disease. Cognitive function will never return and will only deteriorate further. Don't ignore the signs.
Since I started this video with a clip from ABC News in Australia, I think I'll conclude with another clip, Australian related. I know we have a lot of Australian followers here at the MeidasTouch Network, and thanks for your support. This is the former Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull. Here he is talking about Donald Trump's infatuation with Putin and dictators. Here, play this clip.
When you see Trump with Putin, as I have on a few occasions, he's like the 12-year-old boy that goes to high school and meets the captain of the football team. My hero. It is really creepy. It's really creepy. Now,
and that struck you at the time?
Oh, absolutely. It struck everybody. It was like you could touch it. It was creepy. The creepiness was palpable.
Are you trying to say they're having a bromance?
No, I'm not saying. I'm just telling you what I saw. Regrettably, the Republican Party under Donald Trump, and particularly the right wing of the Republican Party, are very sympathetic to Vladimir Putin. I mean, I've been with Trump and Putin. Trump is in awe of Putin. Tyrants are often popular. You see, the key to democracy, liberal democracy, is that it empowers the majority, but it also, through the rule of law, constrains the majority. And if you get to the point where anybody who can muster a majority, and I don't think Trump can do that, by the way, but anyone who can muster a majority is given absolute power and then can do whatever they like to the minority, that's not a democracy. That is a tyranny. That is an autocracy, even if it's got the support of 51% of the population. That is not what makes a democracy. A democracy, as we understand it, is one where the rule of law protects all citizens and the rule of law applies to all citizens, whether they're the president or the prime minister or an ordinary, elector.
The Lincoln Project posted this photo right here. This is gonna ruin the world tour. I found that to be pretty funny right there. And there you have it right now. We'll keep you posted, but Donald Trump certainly doesn't seem to be wanting to do the debate. Also, here's the new MeidasTouch hat, by the way, at store.meidastouch.com. It's the unburdened hat right there. You can check it out. And that was after, one of the lines from Vice President Harris. And this is what Trump War Room posted. They said, this account is living unburdened by what has been. And then to which some of the other MAGA people are like, dude, drop the usage of that phrase. They're going to spin that into marketing for her campaign. They've been creating TikTok videos of her saying that over Charlie XCX songs, and Gen Z loves it. It's a whole new race, folks. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million together. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.